newspapers is that every community is different, and that I would like to think that we know what's best for our community.
The neat thing about the website is that it reaches a much larger group of people. So Half Moon Bay, of course, is known for its pumpkins, and every year we have a pumpkin weigh-off right before the Pumpkin Festival, and that's always held on a Monday. And then on Wednesday, the paper comes out, and we're able to tell people how big the biggest pumpkin was. But this year, because of breaking news, as soon as we found out that the 1,500-pound pumpkin had broken the record, we were able to get it up on the website right away.
We're trying to do, well, just a little bit more multimedia so that we can combine some parts of the story that maybe we couldn't get with just still photos and the copy. So we really have probably done 4 or 5 videos right now. We're just things like stuff at the harbor, so we can get some good footage of boats and fishermen and things like that. We did something from the school, a jogathon, so the energy of the kids was captured on video, so that helped. And they always go along with the story that's in the paper as well, so we'll refer somebody from the paper back to our website. We're really just trying to sort of make the site as rich as possible, and I think we're finding that, you know, the paper has been, we're so used to the paper and creating these longer stories, more in-depth stories, and it's a nice tool to be able to just do a quick couple of graphs and get the story ball rolling online, and then flesh it out more for the paper. The real big goal is to do it in a quick way so that we can get something, even if it's really roughly edited, we just get a couple of minutes of stuff and we can put it on within the hour that we've just taken it. So we can't really compete on the fancy, really high-end production stuff. So, and that stuff takes days, weeks to edit, and so really we're trying to just make a quick stab with you know, fun video that can go quickly. Use a Canon ZR 800 right now. It's really just a consumer right off the shelf, couple $100 camera. And the basic, you know, mics and stuff to go with that. And we've been using so far just iMovie to do our editing. So before we sort of go further, we want to sort of see what we can do with a very inexpensive setup. Yeah, there's a couple of local people that are doing video as well. And that's been, you know, somewhat inspiring, because we can see, oh yeah, we can make a video out of some local events and people are interested in that. So they're doing it in a little different tack, sort of filming it and doing it much more they'll dress it up a little bit more and make it fancier. It usually takes a little while for those to appear on the web page, but they're well done. But much more long-term production stuff. There was a site that was doing it. It depends on the event. You know, when Devil Slide went out, it's a big story for us. They were able to capture that. That was sort of their first experiment with video, and that, I think, sort of opened our eyes to, hey, we can do this too.
A lot of enthusiasm for what we do, and a lot of really good people that work here who don't say no when we come up with an idea. There was nothing not to like about Half Moon Bay. I mean, I spent most of my career working for daily newspapers, kind of mid-sized dailies, and in big chains. And I appreciated the fact that, you know, the limits here were our own imagination. We're definitely getting more web traffic, and I think as we sort of refine how we use the video, I'm hopeful that that it may even change the demographics of our readership. I hope that we get people who weren't normally going to pay 75 cents for the paper to come online, and younger people who are just more into the computer rather than the paper. I hear from readers in different ways than I used to, through the message board and other ways. So I think that still has yet to play out as far as how you're cramming more stuff that you're trying to do, because we definitely, as I hope is evidenced by the awards, we haven't given up the newspaper business, and we're still trying to produce the best newspaper we can every week. Requires a certain level of expertise to get things off the ground, but it's not overly expensive, I don't believe. And I'm not sure that what we do works for everybody else. It's like I said, every community is different. But given our community and the fact that we're within 100 miles of Stanford and Berkeley, it was not an option for us to pretend like it was 1950 anymore. I'm the editor, and I'm the webmaster, and I'm the copy editor, and I'm literally the only full-time editor here. So I have noticed that it creates the illusion that we have a lot more resources that we have, and I think that's a good thing, because there's a way in which our newspaper and our site, I think, looks as professional as any that they're going to find on the web. I mean, we have heard complaints too. There are people who don't like the 24/7 news cycle and think that we should better vet our things that go out, and there are people who don't want to read the rude comments from the neighbors, or why didn't you? This is something I read in the New York Times. One of their technology guys in the last week was saying that he hears complaints about more mistakes in the New York Times products, in the web, and in the paper than he used to, and he says he doesn't know that that's true, but if it is, they're certainly doing more than they used to do. They're doing quicker web updates. The news cycle is like that, and I think that's true for us. And I think I can't think of a specific incidents where we got something badly wrong on the web that I wanted back any more than I do in the paper. But there's a feeling and a concern, I think, among many that faster is not always better. I wish I had the answer. I mean, I go back and forth about that. I mean, for instance, with email, I mean, part of me thinks it could be that people are better writers than they were 10 or 20 years ago. I mean, when I was just getting out of college, nobody wrote letters. I mean, I didn't write letters to any of my friends, and now everybody I know writes emails, and they may, misspell things and use colloquialisms or whatnot, but at least they're sort of conversing, and there's a dialogue that I don't think I necessarily had when I was younger. And so I think maybe that's a good thing for newspapers going forward, is that there is still an interest in information and in sort of a community dialogue. And will there be, when I retire, will there be a newspaper? I'm just not qualified to say. I wish I knew. I feel like there will be, at least in Half Moon Bay. I mean, there's people, we've been around for 108 years. People love us for the same reason that other people describe that they like their newspapers, because they have they're an institution in the community, and it's where you're going to, when your kid is born, that's where it's going to be, and when grandma passes, that's where it's going to be. And I think there's a place for that, but I don't know what it's going to look like.